Hello, everyone. I um I have something that I want to say. I want you guys to stick with me through this because I'm afraid to say things like this on the channel. Um, it's not because I'm afraid of being honest. I'm afraid people will not stick it out to the end or miss what I'm trying to say. I don't want to sound like an inspirational speaker all the time. But at the same time of not sounding like an inspirational speaker, there's some things that I do want to share with you guys, especially when I just made a vlog saying, that I need you guys' support and help and whatnot to keep this going. And then it seems like things are still a bit stagnant, which there's reasons and whatnot for that still. So you have, I hope, noticed that there have been live streams almost every night. Um, and that in between videos, I've been trying to keep, especially channel members, up to date with what's going on, especially behind the scenes. But what I wanted to address right now is something that is, I realized I sent a mixed signal because I explained one thing and then in another live stream, I explained another. And the two do overlap, but it's kind of hard to just say what's on your mind and articulate it well enough that on the fly, it makes perfect sense to everyone. And this won't make perfect sense to everyone. Actually, it's going to just sound like rambling to a lot. So let me just get right into it. I know who asked me in a stream when I was breaking down a game I was playing where I was saying that it was setting up, the story writing was setting up for the fall. That the climax was pretty much going to be the fall of realizing the folly of their ways. That there was hope. Hope was brought into the picture. A hope that hadn't been seen the whole journey, and that near the journey's end, hope that was re-emerging. That was, for me, a red flag that we're about to hit the thing that takes the sail, the wind from sails, that brings the character back down, that grounds them and takes the hope back away. Um, I was asked in looking at all these stories and whatnot if I kind of view life as the same, and I answered truthfully, no. But I also know that I said something else in the stream shortly thereafter, a song that's been on loop over and over in my head, and I actually played it on the stream for you guys to hear. I said that to tell a story many times, characteristics of human beings in general have to be boiled down to their essence of what people can relate to. Otherwise, you'll find yourself in a niche crowd, or that you'll find yourself hitting and missing with a lot of people. But if you can distill writing down many times into what everyone can relate to in some way, shape, or form, then all of a sudden you're writing to the general populace a message that is easy to grasp and easy to sympathize and empathize with. And the feeling of being built up just to be knocked down is something everyone can, in some way, feel toward. They know everyone at some point in their life, given to a certain age, you have to have, even at a young age, have to have felt like your hopes were wildly and dashing up in the midst of a lot of things that might not be going right, only to have it all laid bare that your hopes were for nothing. All of it fell through. Cards on the table and you bust. Just things didn't go your way. And I don't believe that while that might be something that writers can use, I don't believe that's how life works. I answered that that's not how it goes. It's an ebb and flow. And what I strive for is to be content. And being numb is the side of content where negativity is not just saying negativity in general, like the negativity of the universe. I'm saying that in the ebb and flow, the push and pull of the good and bad, that it's erring on the side of bad and you're accepting that as being your state of being, something that you might not be able to crawl out of, something that you're being complacent with and you're content with it, and it can be draining. And that part can be so draining that how else do you describe it other than finally saying numb, when really it's an overwhelming of just about every negativity that you could just embody and say that this is how it will be. You carry it forward too long. And there's the side of content that I wish to be on, which is happy, where while there might be a push and pull and a tug of war, that everything kind of errs on the side of being happy, that at the end of the day, that I think I said in the stream, that I can put up my feet for 2 seconds and look back on what I've done, what I've accomplished. And I feel like in general, I've made the right choices, made the right calls, tried to do the right things, and I'm not in want of anything. I'm not in want desperately as if my life doesn't have meaning because of X, Y, or Z, that there's a content, that I'm not riding a high of happiness as if it's like something that I'm a junkie to try to ride from one happy moment to the next, but rather to find that I don't want to get up off the couch necessarily to go put out another fire. That I'm sitting there because out of everything that's been done, I'm to a point where I can be like that. I can sit there and enjoy something without feeling like I don't fully deserve to enjoy it. And I think that is my version of content. And to get there, many times it's tugged away from you, and you try to move back toward it. Um, that is more or less what I think the human experience is. What you should strive for, because riding any type of high, um, anyone that has been on a medication that helped ease a pain will tell you what it's like for the medication to wear off. Anyone that's been on a medication that's not as legal will tell you what it's like to be in withdrawal. Your body releases some of the same things of trying to ride one happy moment to the next, that burst. Instead, I'm not looking for that. And so, no, I don't think we're always being set up for the fall, but I do believe that we're trying to find some stability, and I want to be content. And even when we are set up and we do fall, we get back up. But then I mentioned that 40 Miles from the Sun is the song that's been in my head the most. And I mentioned the line that's been there the most. Now, if you were at the stream or you've listened or you've gone and seen for yourself, the lyrics do not start off okay. There's nowhere left to hide. There's nothing to be done. No people to be saved. Like, it's not necessarily what I'm talking about. It sounds bleak, whatnot. The whole song kind of embodies right now that I'm not in my highest point. I feel like I have set myself up for a failure of sort, and right now that's what I'm going through. The line that I was referring to in the song that sticks with me is, "I need to lose to make it right." In all of this of talking about being built up in a story to be knocked down, do I believe that's in real life? No, but sometimes I do believe people get the wrong idea of what it is to get back up and to keep going and try to find the balance back toward being content with this in a happy way, or find happiness in their own way. Even if you want to find a path that makes you find joy in your own life. Many times I think people forget that your own stubbornness will get in your own way many times. A lot of my regrets and a lot of the things that make me suffer the most in my own life are the times where I had to play out a scenario where the right call wasn't necessarily the right call. The right decision wasn't easily known. There was no guidebook for how to get through it. And in all of it, I realized, almost as if the person that starts an argument and remembers halfway through an argument that they are wrong. They remember a fact and they realize what they're arguing is wrong, but they keep trying to argue it anyway. They don't want to lose. But that's wrong. You're arguing a losing fight. I think right now, that song, as bleak as it sounds, for people to have heard that from me, that ebb and that flow, being built up and being knocked down, that's not what life is about. It's what we make of it, how we see it. And what I see in something like that is the lines that come before it as being bleak, and that's having to lose to make it right. That right now in my life, the only way I see to move forward, make things the way they should be, in some aspects, is to do what I have been doing. Something that people on streams have been telling me to stop doing, something that I've heard from my own family, from friends, and that I've heard for a long time. And I think there's a difference between the two things that I'm being asked not to do and what I am doing. Not to put the world on my shoulders is important. I can't save everyone. I can't do everything. And I can't always be correct because I'm human. That's just how it goes. But there's something driven inside of me to try to fix everything and do everything, and that's putting the world on your shoulders. On the other hand, people have been accusing me of doing the same thing, for simply taking my part and my share of the blame for when things don't go perfectly. And I don't see it as much as dogging myself or putting myself down. It's that I'm seeing the times where, to make the right call or to do the right thing, I realize that that is an argument or a discourse of some sort. A part in my life where losing was the right choice. Losing was the only way to make it right. That losing was where I turned back around from what I was doing to how to make it grow again, be better again. The next line that I forgot to mention after that is, "I'll confront the stars tonight." I'll confront the stars tonight. I will babble, I will bite. They'll never know how much you shine, 40 miles from the sun. In all of that, just because I'm admitting my own faults, just because I'm knowing that because of my own stubbornness or my own pride, my own wants and desires, the way that I wanted things to be or tried to work at things and they didn't work out, however things built and crashed, that after losing, I didn't stay down. I don't believe that you're built up to be knocked down and stay down. I believe that in any time that you get knocked down, the only time you stay down is when you choose it. The next line, I'll confront the stars tonight. In a song about being 40 miles from the sun, a star, confronting after you lose the fight, confronting the thing that makes you know how much you'll never shine sometimes. Standing back up against yourself. That's the part that most people can't get over. Don't want to go through that. Most everyone avoids it because it means that you have to bring back onto yourself a certain level of pain or guilt or something that resembles something that's sad. But losing to make it right sometimes is just the beginning you need to confront the exact thing that led you to that point. Start building it back up. Be better. Not make the same mistake. Or at least if you make a mistake, make it a little different so you know how to build from there. And I think many times the only reason people can't see it is because they never know how much they do shine through all of it. You compare yourself to other people all the time. You'll see people who glide through life and you don't think they earned what they got. And they go from beginning to end. Think they pretty much were born with the silver spoon. You don't understand why you might have to go through what you're going through. And they did never have to. And there's some people you see and you don't understand how they continue to exist the way that they're going through life. That is hard, front to back. And it doesn't seem like their life ever got a break. But that's an outsider's perspective into one person's perspective, their own life. That's your way of trying to see their life through your eyes. But in your own life, what you make of it is what you make of it. You only lose when you choose to stay down. That's when you truly have given up. You can lose to make something right. That doesn't mean that you have been built up for the fall, and that doesn't mean that you can't come back. It just means knowing that you're human, and that that's all you'll ever be. And that the thing that you forget you compare yourself to too many times is the thing that you want to be instead of the thing that you are. Who you are many times is already good enough. It's good enough for everyone. It's good enough for you and the people around you. And you're not what you make yourself out to be. Because what you're making yourself out to be is the thing that can never measure up to the star you created of what you wanted to be. The thing that didn't have to lose to make anything right. One that got it right the first time. One that didn't make a mistake. One that made the right call. One that knew what to do at the right time. That's the trapping. I don't think we would all relate to something like the rise before the fall if it weren't for the fact that the fall many times is comparing yourself to who you wish you were instead of who you are. Many times who you are is everything you needed to be. And what you aren't is something you should strive for, but not something you should penalize yourself for not being at the right time. Many times the right time presents itself right after you needed it. Hindsight's 2020. The right time was always there, and you missed it. You lost. And if you accepted it, that's the way that you made it right. You got up, you confronted the exact thing that made you your own perception, your own folly, your own anything. And the only way to get back from that, all of that, to that state of content that I'm fighting for is realizing that I never have to shine bright as the person and the star and the thing that I wish I were. That's never bad to be better, but I'll never be perfect. It's okay to be human. All I got. It's a weird message, and I'm sorry if it sounded rambling. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you miss live streams and you miss things, I say things like this all the time in live streams, and I talk like this, and I try to talk with you guys, and I appreciate you guys listening, lending an ear, and support, all of that. Right now, I'm at the point where I know where I need to lose. Because I know in some points I don't know all the way. I'm not going to be that pompous and presumptuous that I know all of it. But when I do come across it, when I do finally realize it, I try. And that's where I try to build from. Then I try to fight the idea that I ever had to be perfect in the first place. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you guys around here again soon.